How's it going, guys? Stas here. Welcome back to another video. Cheers, by the way. I appreciate you all for tuning in as we're going to break down SoFi stock, the charts, what I'm looking to do right now, and what I'm watching out for heading into tomorrow. You guys are going to want to watch the entire video, so stick on throughout. Hit the like button. Don't forget to subscribe. Follow along for more content. And with that being said, cheers again. Take a sip of your coffee, by the way, guys. You got to do that, and let's dive into it. So it's about I read the clock wrong. 11:30, not 1:30, 11:30 a.m. on the East Coast right now, and we have SoFi down just over 1% as the entire stock market right now is selling off as well. The S&P 500's down 0.3, 0.4%. Same with the Dow. The Nasdaq's down about 0.75%, and the Russell's down about 0.5% as the VIX is up over 1.8%. So we're down across the board. SoFi's down about 1%, but this could change tomorrow. The trajectory of the stock market, maybe of SoFi stock as well. We'll talk about that here in this video. So clearly yesterday, SoFi had a very big day. We went from $12.45 all the way up to over $13 a share by about 2:15 p.m. East Coast time. Then we sold off a little bit, heading into close, going down to $12.85. And now we saw that sell-off continue into this morning. We can see this morning in the pre-market we sold off, continuing that red from yesterday in power hour, heading into after the bell yesterday. And at open, what's important here, guys, is we didn't continue selling off. We didn't go even lower. We actually opened up, saw a nice pop to the upside to about $12.75, saw another pull down, right? We retested that $12.45, $12.50 level. We double bottomed, and then we popped up to where we are now, $12.75 again. So it's pretty clear that bulls are fighting to maintain this little mini uptrend on the 5-day, 5-minute chart. You guys see it right there. And on the 30-minute chart, you can kind of see it as well. So bulls are fighting to hold this support, 1240, 1245, 1250. And it seems like as of now, they're succeeding in doing so, right? We can see that. And at the same time, as we're making these little higher lows, trying to break out, we're also making very subtle lower highs. You're noticing right here, 1305 yesterday, right now at about 1275, 1280. If we don't break out, this might be another lower high. We hit one at 1450 as well about a week ago. So it comes down to direction on this 30-minute chart. Will we break out of 1280, 1305, start taking out this wedge, going to the mid-high 13s from there, or will we fall through this support, fall through this bottom of the wedge, and start to collapse down, right? What direction are we going to pick? And, well, it all comes down to tomorrow. Tomorrow's a big day, guys, not only for SoFi, but for the entire stock market, because we're getting the Fed funds rate decision, the FOMC statement, the press conference, which is going to be very exciting. We got to pay attention to that, guys, because what Powell says and what the Fed decides and kind of their outlook is going to influence the stock market and for sure SoFi stock. So, yeah, man, before we dive into that, pay attention to the wedge. It comes down to the wedge on these charts, on the 1 hour time frame, on the 30-minute chart. So I'm going to set my alert at $13, and I'll do $13.10, slightly above yesterday's high. I'll do one alert there, and I'll do one at, let's say, maybe $12.40, $12.40. Mark is at or below, just in case we start slipping down here and break under the wedge. So keep your eyes on those. points on the charts here, guys, and clearly on the 4-hour chart, pulling back a little more, we are clearly still breaking out. We're above these moving averages. Golden Cross is intact, which is very good news. So, like I said, tomorrow we have the FOMC press conference, the statement. We get more news on or word on what the Fed's thinking, Jerome Powell, blah, 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 the whole 9 yards. And it's at 2 p.m. tomorrow, East Coast time. We're getting the Fed funds rate decision, which is projected to stay at 4.5%, right? The Fed funds rate is projected to stay the same. In other words, we're not expecting a rate hike, obviously. That'd be disastrous. And we're not expecting a rate cut either at this point in time. At this point in time, keep that in mind. You know, it might change in 2 months, 3 months, but now we're not expecting a rate cut or a hike. And in terms of Powell, we have to watch out for the sentiment. What will his sentiment be? Is he more eager to cut rates? Is he, not so eager to cut rates? Does he want to wait a bit longer to be, or to wait a couple more months to see how data looks? He's always saying he's data dependent. So there's a lot to watch out for tomorrow. Sentiment. When will we get rate cuts? We always get a lot of great questions in the press conference. And Sofi, of course, being a company that, it lends money. That's a lot of what it does, right? It lends money, student loans, mortgages, personal loans. Sofi will benefit greatly if, obviously, we get a rate cut, which we're not going to get a rate cut tomorrow. There's no way. But obviously, if we get a surprise rate cut, that would be great news for Sofi. But overall, if sentiment towards a rate cut seems like it's coming sooner rather than later from Powell, from the Fed tomorrow, that could also be great news for Sofi. We don't necessarily have to get a rate cut for Sofi to go up. We could just get news that a rate cut is right around the corner for Sofi to go up. Because again, they're lending money. This is a lot of what the business and what they're doing. You know what I mean? And guess what? When rates come down, lending becomes cheaper, right, for the borrower. People borrow more money. It's good for Sofi. So that's pretty much what you need to watch out for tomorrow on the charts. Obviously, with the Fed here as well. It's about to get real, guys. It's about to get real. And this is very important overall for Sofi, as again, it's directly impacted by interest rates. It really is. But Powell, Jerome Powell. I don't think we're getting a rate cut tomorrow. He's not going to force that. But again, keep your eyes and keep your ears peeled on the sentiment around when we will actually get a rate cut, what his thoughts there are. And obviously we got to pay attention to what he says about tariffs, the advanced GDP number, which was not good. We got that a couple days ago. That was not too pretty, so we have to pay attention to that. But yeah, overall, guys, that's pretty much it. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Hit the like button. Do not forget to subscribe. Follow along for more content. Join the free email stock newsletter. That is linked down below. And of course, check out the Patreon if you guys want to keep up with what I'm doing in my portfolio every week. That is linked down below on Patreon. And with that being said, cheers. I'll catch you in the next video.